This is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. The CBC Evening News with Suhana Marchand next. The CBC Evening News with Ron Azawa.
Good evening. It's been a day when the century seemed to end a few years too soon. When the 20th century began, the world's map was red with territories, colonies, and protectorates of the British Empire. Today, the empire's brightest remaining red speck was transformed. Hong Kong traded the lion for the dragon, the rule of common law for communist rule, and the red of the empire for the red star of the East. The Union Jack has dropped from a lot of flagpoles in the past 50 years. When it did, it left behind nations with destinies to chase. Something different happened today. Hong Kong went from colony to become just another Chinese city, a huge, rich, impatient city, but one whose destiny is still controlled from a long way away by a government with vastly different ideals. Raymond St. Pierre reports on the one-of-a-kind handover.
On this last day of colonial rule, British troops bade farewell to Hong Kong. 10,000 guests braved the tropical downpour to watch them parade and salute the end of 156 years of British history. Speaking for the last time before leaving the colony, Governor Chris Patten expressed his faith in the people of this dynamic territory.
Now, Hong Kong people are to run Hong Kong.
The Hong Kong night sky then exploded in an array of color as a spectacular firework display illuminated Victoria Harbour. Prince Charles, representing Queen Elizabeth, then led the British delegation to the Hong Kong Convention Centre, where the handover ceremony took place. Jiang Zemin, the first Chinese president ever to set foot in Hong Kong, headed the Chinese delegation. Prince Charles promised Britain would not abandon Hong Kong.
I should like, on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen and of the entire British people, to express our thanks, admiration, affection, and good wishes to all the people of Hong Kong who have been such staunch and special friends over so many generations. We shall not forget you.
Seconds before midnight, the British flag was lowered to the strains of God Save the Queen. The Chinese Army Band then played the March of the Volunteers to signal the moment that Hong Kong became a special administrative region of China. President Jiang Zemin welcomed back the citizens of Hong Kong to the motherland, promising to implement the policy of one country, two systems to protect its autonomy.
The Hong Kong residents shall enjoy various rights and freedoms according to law. The Hong Kong Special Administrative Region shall gradually develop a democratic system that suits Hong Kong's reality.
Prince Charles and ex-Governor Patten, now guests of the Chinese government, said their goodbyes and made their way to the Britannia. Meanwhile, most of the other 4,000 invited dignitaries attended the swearing-in of Tung Chee-hwa, the first Beijing-appointed chief executive to Hong Kong. He in turn swore in the unelected members of the new provisional legislature, an event Madeleine Albright, the American Secretary of State, and the British Foreign Secretary Robin Cook chose to boycott. Lord Axworthy, Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister, was there. Then it was time for Prince Charles and Chris Patten to sail away on the Britannia, closing the curtain on a century and a half of history and handing Communist China one of the most fiercely capitalistic societies. Raymond St. Pierre, CBC News, the Special Administrative Region of Hong Kong.
It's been a day of heavy emotion and celebration for more than 500,000 members of Canada's Chinese community. Here in Metro, a crowd of about 1,000 gathered to watch the handover ceremony live from Hong Kong. Satinder Bindra reports.
As the Union Jack is lowered after 156 years in Hong Kong, hundreds watch the historic moment live in Toronto.
As a Chinese, we finally, under the government of the Chinese people, and it's a good thing. The sad thing, I guess, we kind of, the English, the British, has been very good friend to us.
I can share the feeling of the people in Hong Kong going back to the motherland. And I'm really looking forward to a more promising Hong Kong in the future.
Some 500,000 Chinese Canadians still maintain strong links with Hong Kong, something that's helped trade between the two countries swell to over $2 billion a year. More recently, an economic boom in Hong Kong has attracted thousands of Chinese Canadians back to their home.
The world has its hope, of course, that China maintains that commitment to allow Hong Kong to continue to be the kind of tremendous success story that it's been for many years.
In his handover speech today, President Jiang Zemin promised China will maintain Hong Kong's flourishing economic system. But some people don't believe that. These protesters are angry. China is already moving 4,000 troops and armored personnel carriers into Hong Kong.
These are the same transport vehicles that were seen in Tiananmen Square. To the people of Hong Kong, this is a very familiar sight and very fearful sight.
Despite this, Ron, there are more parades and parties being planned here in Toronto. A huge one gets underway at Nathan Phillips Square. It starts at 7 o'clock and it'll go on till about 11 tonight.
And Satinder, what is the mood of the business community about this change?
Ron, their mood is quite pragmatic. They're not emotional. They realize the Chinese government will not kill the goose that lays the golden egg, in this case Hong Kong. So they say they'll cooperate with the Chinese, and for them at least it's business as usual.
All right, thanks Satinder.
Thanks.
The handover has caused a great many concerns among many residents of Hong Kong. Whatever mixed feelings they have for London, British soldiers have never opened fire on peaceful protesters. But Brenda Murray met some people at a demonstration outside the Chinese consulate today who know what it's like to be on the wrong side of the People's Liberation Army.
Shin Shua knows only too well what the Chinese government can do to citizens demanding democracy.
I was facing the soldier when they opened fire to the crowd of people, and I saw two young people was shot on their legs, and I don't know the result, if they're dead or not.
She was in Tiananmen Square when the military massacred demonstrators in June of 1989. Memories of those horrifying moments brought out some people from the Chinese community in Toronto today. They want to send a message to the Chinese government on the day of the Hong Kong handover. They want the Chinese government to keep the former colony democratic.
I think it's also really important to remind the Chinese government that we have not forgotten June 4th. We believe strongly that the democracy needs to be there in Hong Kong and in China.
One country, two systems is a brave experiment.
The leader of today's protest read an open letter to the Hong Kong people and the Chinese government.
We are Chinese, we are proud to be Chinese, and that Hong Kong is no longer ruled by Britain. But we ask ourselves this question: why must we pay such a high price to become Chinese again?
The reading of the letter in Toronto coincided with a speech by pro-democracy supporters in Hong Kong. Elected members there lost their jobs when the Chinese government handpicked a new legislature.
Without a democratic government, a country cannot prosper, and I don't want to see it not to prosper.
You're from China, right?
Yes, I do.
But not everyone is worried about the handover. This man, who wouldn't identify himself, came out of the Chinese consulate and berated the protesters.
Chinese government is going to take democracy and freedom from Hong Kong people.
Hong Kong never have that.
They do have it.
When? From 1991. When they have?
They do have it now.
Ironically, this sort of confrontation can really only happen outside Hong Kong. Now that the Chinese have taken over, there is no freedom to demonstrate in the former colony.
Come on.
And Ron, apparently tomorrow in Hong Kong, pro-democracy demonstrators are going to put on a protest, and then we'll find out how well the Beijing government takes to that.
Now, Brenda, we haven't heard from one large ethnic group. Any sense of what the people from Taiwan are saying tonight?
Again, they are very happy that Hong Kong is back with China, the ethnic Chinese. This is a very proud moment for them. But again, like some of those people, they're very worried that maybe if Hong Kong works out, China's got its eye on Taiwan and has for a long time. Perhaps they'll try to take Taiwan back, and perhaps by force.
Okay, thank you, Brenda.
You're welcome.
Still to come on the CBC Evening News.
You'll enjoy the great American tradition here in
Celebrating love of country. Who does it better, Canada or the U.S.?
Do you think that in the United States it's any different from here?
I think it's actually probably a little higher down in the States.
Canada Day versus the 4th of July. That's later. Queen Elizabeth was about as far away from Hong Kong ceremonies as she could be today, but she was involved in a kind of handover in Ottawa. Her Majesty handed over new colors to the Governor-General's foot guards. She is the Colonel-in-Chief, and this is the first time a reigning monarch has presented new colors to the regiment. The new colors show the battle honors and the royal emblem. The Queen's Day in Ontario, however, began in the Premier's hometown of North Bay. Simon Dingley has the story.
The Queen and Duke of Edinburgh arrived in North Bay, Ontario during a sweltering heat wave, but you'd never know it by the smiles on the royal faces. They were greeted by Ontario Premier Mike Harris, who was proudly showing off his hometown. The royal couple toured a plant which makes mineral exploration equipment. One young girl managed to squeeze through security to present flowers to Her Majesty. Then Premier Harris escorted the Queen and Duke of Edinburgh to Canadore College for a luncheon. College hospitality students proudly showed off the desserts they made for the royal couple and assembled dignitaries.
It's truly life-changing for a career. It's a goal for any beginning chef.
The Premier fondly recalled the Queen's last visit to his hometown.
I remember being an excited 6-year-old, waiting for what seemed like hours with my schoolmates, standing on the side of Algonquin Avenue, and then waving my Union Jack. I'd been rehearsing for it seemed like 2 hours too.
Late in the afternoon, the Queen did a walkabout, thrilling her admirers. Sean Olton says the royal family is no longer a mystery to him.
They're normal people just like us.
The last leg of the royal tour is in Ottawa. On Canada Day, the Queen will address the nation before attending a reception hosted by the Governor-General. On Wednesday, she'll head home to England. Simon Dingley, CBC News, North Bay, Ontario.
Nursing homes across the province got a big present from the government of Mike Harris today, a cash infusion of $100 million. The government says it's to provide seniors with better care and create jobs. But some nurses say the money is too little, too late. Paul Riley has more.
Anyways, my flight's a little later. Who's taking me to the airport? Okay,
Karen Benjamin came home to visit for the weekend. Though she grew up here in Brampton, she now lives in Connecticut.
Well, because I couldn't get a nursing job in Toronto, so I decided to go down there to look for work. I had a couple girlfriends down there, and they said, come down and you'll be able to find something down here in nursing. And I was able to find something in a nursing home.
Our government is reinvesting $100 million new dollars in Ontario's long-term care facilities.
The provincial government says all this money will create more than 1,700 jobs for nurses to care for seniors.
It's upsetting because I spent almost 2 years looking for work over here, and I couldn't find anything.
But even if she were still here and looking, she'd most likely still be out of luck, because according to the health minister, most of the new jobs are already spoken for.
So that displaced workers out of the hospital system will get jobs, or at least will be on priority list for jobs in this sector.
The Registered Nurses Association of Ontario says it will be watching very closely. They say it used to be that at least one registered nurse had to be on site at a nursing home 24 hours a day. But as of January 1st of this year, there was a change in legislation.
So the fact that we are putting more money into the system, it's good but not good enough. The question is now to what type of care providers that money will go.
Grinspun fears that many of the jobs will go to cheaper but less qualified nurses' aides. As for Karen Benjamin, she can't worry about that now. She's got a plane to catch. She's expected back at work tomorrow. Paul Riley, CBC News, Brampton.
You may soon have a few extra loonies jingling in your pocket. The latest installment of the provincial income tax cut kicks in tomorrow. There will be another cut by January 1st with the full 30% cut expected by 1999. Well, Roger Willis of Dunnville couldn't book a limousine ride to Toronto. It's because he didn't have a credit card. They should have known he'd be good for the money. Willis arrived at the lottery offices today to pick up his share of a $10 million Lotto 649 pot. The check was for $3,333,333.40. The retired maintenance waterworks foreman with Hamilton Wentworth lives in the Dunnville area. He says he plans to stay there in the same house, fix it up, and buy a new vehicle. His more immediate plans include a visit to the Niagara Falls Casino. Have fun, Roger. Lots more to come tonight, including the latest passage of a modern-day explorer. Undersea adventurer Jacques Cousteau is laid to rest. Back in a moment.
In Jamaica, you don't eat barbecue. You eat jerk, the incredibly spicy and flavorful way they've prepared chicken and pork here for almost 300 years. In fact, after tasting the jerk chicken at Bob's Jerk Pit in Montego Bay, our President's Choice Insider made only one comment before bringing it back home for you.
Water!
Does your supermarket go this far for you?
In Niagara Falls, Ontario, Greenland is the place to go, where magic's king and the dolphins sing. Everyone loves Marineland. You can take your family for the day, watching the whales while they swim and play, seeing friends you miss, a great big kiss. Everyone loves Marineland.
Paint cans! I want you to remember those words.
There are those who produce and direct films.
He kills her, chops her up, and puts her in paint cans in the basement.
And those who produce and direct the supply of money.
There are two ways out of this building. Down the elevator or out the window.
Is this a physical threat?
Chaz Lawther.
Paint cans will be an exercise in unwatchability.
Paul Gross.
I agree.
Paint cans.
Paint cans is going to become a thing.
Saturday.
Eaton's Happy Birthday Canada sale. Look good, feel real neat. Get a 3-piece bonus, buy Clinique. Put the pedal to the metal, hit every floor. With savings on clothes in every store. Cruise on by for kids, Levi's. Wheel a deal on clothes for guys. You're in luck, save a lot of bucks. Drive home deals on some English stuff. Eaton's, we are your savings store. Eaton's, big sale. Come on, Eaton's, Canada sale. Let's go.
So important to make someone happy. Make just one someone happy. Make just one heart the heart you sing to.
Introducing the unique flavor of new Parlor Signature Chocolate Madness. Chocolate brownie pieces and swirls of fudge, all in a rich Belgian chocolate ice cream.
And you will be happy too.
Parlor Signature. Make someone happy.
The final report of the Somali inquiry will be released to the public on Wednesday. The inquiry was called after the 1993 torture and killing of a Somali teenager by members of the Canadian Airborne Regiment. But in January, the government suddenly ordered the hearings to end by March 30th and a final report delivered by today. It's being presented to the government today, but the public release will wait until after Canada Day, the Canada Day holiday. A former chemistry teacher pleaded guilty today to planting 4 bombs on Prince Edward Island, including one that rocked the provincial legislature. Roger Bell was sentenced to 10 years in prison. He told the court he was sorry for the fear he caused. Bell admitted planting explosives at the PEI legislature in 1995, in which 1 man was injured. Pipe bombs also went off at a propane station last year and at the Supreme Court in 1998, and also at a Halifax park in 1994. then the Royal Ontario Museum gets a gift that defined what it was like to be imperial. The glory that was post-Rome comes to the Royal Ontario Museum coming up. No other explorer brought as many people along with him as Jacques Cousteau. Through his many television specials, Cousteau introduced the undersea and remote environment to millions. At his funeral today, the priest described him as the poet of an inaccessible reality. But Cousteau did more to make that reality accessible than anyone before him. More from Paul Workman.
This is an honor reserved for only a few in France. Mass at Notre Dame Cathedral. Jacques Cousteau was perhaps the most famous Frenchman in the world, certainly one of the most respected. French President Jacques Chirac led the mourners. Typically, one of Cousteau's last crusades was against Chirac's nuclear testing in the South Pacific. The Mass was given by the Archbishop of Paris, Jean-Marie Lustiger. Cousteau, he said, was a poet who exposed reality.
Il a fait découvrir à l'humanité entière.
He made the world discover the immense universe of the sea, he said. Cousteau's life was a grand exploration. He wandered the oceans as a filmmaker, teacher, and ecologist, making famous movies, scolding world leaders for not doing enough to save the planet. Cousteau had millions of admirers. Today in Paris, a few hundred stood outside Notre Dame.
He was to the earth what a doctor is to a man.
Il parlait pour la nature.
He spoke for nature, she says, truly an ecologist above politics, an exceptional man. Cousteau's coffin was carried out of the church by sailors from the Calypso, the converted British minesweeper that became his home on the sea. He'll be buried Thursday in the family grave in southwest France. Paul Workman, CBC News, Paris.
Plenty still ahead on the CBC Evening News, including weather and entertainment. But first, Barb Andruzek with sports, and boxing's bad boy says he's sorry for losing it.
I apologize to the world, to my family, and to the Nevada State Athletic Commission.
Tyson's apology coming up.
Hey, I'm Baskin-Robbins ice cream. I'm a star, but I'm typecast. I could be a sundae. I'd star with Jamocha Almond Fudge. Yeah, he's cool. We could wear hot fudge or caramel or strawberry. People would go nuts. Oh, I must have been daydreaming again.
I'd like a sundae, please.
A director? It wasn't a dream!
Give your Baskin-Robbins ice cream a starring role. Put it in a sundae. Just $2.99 from now until Labor Day.
Summertime is finally here, and so is the hottest sale of the season. At Decorium, we're celebrating this summer in style, beautiful style, with beautiful furniture at discount prices. Save 50% during our summer celebration. Buy one item at our guaranteed lowest price and receive 50% off your second purchase. Celebrate the beautiful style of summer, now until July 13th. There is only one Decorium, 363 Super Test Road, north of Finch, west of Dufferin.
Tired of your long-distance plan running you? Waiting for the best time to call? Trying to calculate percentage discounts or not getting the best savings because of minimum spending restrictions? Good news. Sprint Canada introduces freedom for 15 cents a minute.
Now with the most savings plan, you pay just 15 cents a minute. Any day, anytime, anywhere in Canada. Get the most for the least. Call Sprint Canada at 1-800-THE-MOST today.
Any day, anytime, anywhere in Canada!
Everybody needs some money sometime. Everybody needs some cash somehow.
When you need money fast,
hello, Mom.
Count on Western Union. We send more money in minutes to more people in Canada and around the world than anyone else.
Just told me my sometime is now.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide. Call us for a location nearest you.
fat and sugar and loved by kids. That's why they're loved by moms, too.
The one and only Cheerios.
Metro Morning comes unencumbered by commercials. The only thing we have to sell is a sense of our city as it starts its day. I'm Andy Berry. We're Metro Morning. Join us between 6 and 9 on CBC 740.
Live from Parliament Hill, let the flag waving and song singing begin. Sonia Ben Ezra and Ralph Ben Murgy celebrate Canada Day. Great Big Sea, Terry Clark, Bare Naked Ladies. The ultimate birthday party, Tuesday.
A new breed. A new look. The Spos drive down the 401 tonight at 7:30 p.m. live on CBC Sports.
And Barb Andruzak joins me now with sports. And Barb, a reformed ear biter?
Well, Ron, that remains to be seen. Mike Tyson marked his 31st birthday with a news conference today. The disgraced boxer faced a room full of media just a short time ago to discuss his bizarre and appalling behavior Saturday in Las Vegas when he bit Evander Holyfield's ears twice. Tyson was disqualified from their rematch and is waiting word on his punishment.
This opportunity. Saturday night was the worst night of my professional career as a boxer, and I'm here to apologize today, to ask the people to expect the people that expect more from Mike Tyson to forgive me for snapping in the ring, and doing something that I've never done before and will never do again. I apologize to the world, to my family, and to the Nevada State Athletic Commission that has always treated me fairly, to Judge Patricia Gifford, who I know I'm proud of to the living up to the terms of my probation. I apologize to the MGM, to Showtime, to Don King, my promoter, to my team, to this wonderful city of Las Vegas that has hosted so many fabulous boxing events. I cannot tell why exactly I acted like I did, other than to say when the budding occurred, and I thought I might lose because of a cut above my eye, I just snapped. Evander, I'm sorry. You're a champion. I respect that, and I only saddened that the fight didn't go on further, that the boxing fans of the world might have seen for themselves who would come out on top.
Ouch, that looked painful. The Nevada Athletic Commission is holding an emergency meeting to determine what sanctions to take against Tyson, and we should know something by tomorrow morning, but we won't know the entire story for at least 30 days. At that time, the commission will announce what part, if any, of the $33 million Tyson gets to keep for taking part in the bout in the first place. U.S. President Bill Clinton, a big boxing fan, says he is horrified by Tyson's actions, but he stopped short of calling for American federal regulation of the troubled sport. Well, they are expecting about 40,000 out to watch tonight's game at Skydome. That's 10,000 more than the Jays have been averaging so far this season. Big crowd because the country's baseball bragging rights are on the line this week in Toronto. For the first time in history, Toronto and Montreal will play games that matter. The three-game interleague series begins this evening at Skydome with the Blue Jays starting 8-4 Pat Henkin. The Expos will counter with 9-3 Pedro Martinez. The Jays are pumped coming off a 4-game sweep of the mighty Orioles in Baltimore.
I think that's the way it should be. I think these two teams should be in the same league, really, same division. And I think it could be a nice rivalry, and one something like we used to have with Detroit. In the early years I was here, it was great to have that type of rivalry.
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's go time. Instead of waiting till October for the World Series, why not now?
Right. I think it's cool because, like, it's Canada versus Canada, and they've never really done that before because they haven't both been in the World Series. So I like the idea. That's why we came.
It means it's kind of special because before we've always dreams of a World Series, Montreal, Toronto, but now we can, actually see them on a more regular basis.
And I'll have highlights of the Jays and the Expos tonight at 11. I'll also keep an eye on the Braves and the Yankees in New York in a rematch of last year's World Series. On to Wimbledon, and Canada's Patricia He-Boulay has made it to round 4 after capturing her 3rd match in as many days. He-Boulay is the final Canadian in singles play. But there was a major upset in women's action today. Second-seeded Monica Seles lost to France's Sandrine Testou. Seles, whose father is ill with cancer, said she could not account for her bad form. She won the first set but lost the last 2. In men's play, the top seed Pete Sampras romped past Byron Black of Zimbabwe 6-1, 6-2, 6-2.
whenever you want us to go here, we can.
sun sets, the order of the world changes, but the light of friendship and the warmth of memory remain.
Britain has been honored to have been part of the history of Hong Kong and to have shared in building the great free city that we see around us.
Hong Kong has been happy in our partnership. The past holds sorrows and yet has been full of joys. We will remember...
Not a dry eye in the house at the British farewell ceremony at East Tamar. Orville Shell, if not for emotion, then certainly the rain that's been pouring down here.
Probably not a dry suit as well, but I would say the British have certainly gone out with style, and thus begins an entirely new era for Hong Kong, and indeed for China, with the Chinese flag soon to fly over this unusual city.
Prince Charles delivered a speech on behalf of the Queen, who happens to be in Canada right now, and in the speech he made it very clear that Britain and the world will be watching Hong Kong and what China does.
Well, and I think China will certainly be watching to see how the world heeds Hong Kong, and I think in no small measure the future of the city will depend on how the world attends to what goes on here in the coming months and years.
But how much influence will the world have?
I think China is extremely sensitive to world opinion. On the other hand, I think it's very wary about things getting out of control here politically, but China very sensitive to how it is looked upon by the international community, and I think we'll heed what the world says and how the world views its tenure here.
And yet at the same time, as you mentioned earlier, with the PLA rolling in here in about 8 hours, 10 hours time, not so sensitive to world opinion to stop that. That's been our live coverage from here in Hong Kong on CBC News World and News World International. I'm Ian Hannah-Mansing. We will be back at 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time with live coverage of the official handover of power from Great Britain to China. See you then.
Energizer introduces the world's first on-battery tester. Just press the dots to make sure your battery will keep going and going. With a battery like this, we don't really need a big-time celebrity.
Is it 5/16 or 9/32? Does it take a standard socket or metric? What you need is Gator Grip. It's a single socket that fits any size nut or bolt. Gator Grip replaces this entire set of standard sockets and all these metric sockets as well. No matter what size the bolt, small, medium, or large, Gator Grip will fit it.
This is what I used to haul around with me, but no more. Now this is all I need. Whatever the job, Gator Grip can tackle it.
Gator Grip is quality made in the USA. It grabs onto any size bolt with the strength of a gator. The secret is these 54 spring-loaded pins. They retract to form tightly around whatever size bolt you have. Watch, this man is using a regular socket set. He has to change sockets with every bolt. But this man is using Gator Grip. No searching, no changing. He's done. Watch in slow motion with part of the casing removed so you can see the steel pins in action. Gator Grip is so versatile it can tackle these wing nuts, eye bolts too. It can also take care of those square nuts. And look, it can even remove broken nuts, stripped nuts, and rusted nuts quickly and easily. Watch it! A slipped wrench can really bruise your knuckles. But Gator Grip always holds securely. It delivers over 100 foot-pounds of torque.
Charlie's got a whole garage full of tools, but I've got Gator Grip. It does the job every time.
Why spend hundreds of dollars on all these tools? All you need is Gator Grip. It's always the right tool, and it's yours now through this special TV offer. It comes with a lifetime replacement warranty, plus a money-back guarantee if you're not delighted. But wait! Order now, and you'll also get this power adapter that turns any drill or power screwdriver into a power Gator Grip. It gets the job done in no time. Imagine all the convenience of Gator Grip and power, too. This is one offer you won't want to miss, so get a grip. Get Gator Grip now.
Tired of your long-distance plan running you? Waiting for the best time to call? Trying to calculate percentage discounts or not getting the best savings because of minimum spending restrictions? Good news. Sprint Canada introduces freedom for 15 cents a minute.
Now with the most savings plan, you pay just 15 cents a minute. Any day, anytime, anywhere in Canada. Get the most for the least. Call Sprint Canada at 1-800-THE-MOST today.
Any day, anytime, anywhere in Canada!
Make short work of your work with Corel WordPerfect Suite 8. Loaded with amazing integrated features like the property bar, a powerful toolbar that changes depending on the job. The shadow cursor. Start typing anywhere, your words will stay put. And industry standards like Corel Quattro Pro, supercharged with even more lightning-fast spreadsheet features. Corel WordPerfect Suite 8. Office Suite Excellence.
Just located another test site.
After me. Road testing, Stuttgart, -6. Lateral G's 0.93. Speed.
Miles per hour, 150. Push in, 500%.
Pushing in 500%.
Speed, 160 and climbing.
Enhance that.
Speed, 170, still climbing.
Anybody have any idea what this is?
I do.
Well?
It's the next vet.
Get me one.
Introducing the world's first on-battery tester from Energizer. Just press the dots to make sure your battery will keep going and going. It's so amazing, it pretty much sells itself. Really.
News on the hour. Information around the clock. This is CBC News World.
Good morning. It's Monday, June 30th. This is the CBC Morning News.
China's red flag will soon rise in Hong Kong, marking the end of 156 years of British rule. The historic handover takes place in less than 3 hours, and that is our top story today.
Coming up this hour, pro-democracy legislator Harold Koh on Hong Kong's new non-elected legislature, and later in the hour, a feature interview with the last British governor of Hong Kong, Chris Patten. Colleen.
Mix of sun and cloud with a chance of thunder showers later in the day for Ontario. Wet and rainy in the southern prairies with thunder showers there as well. In sports, the Expos and Jays play today in their first regular season game. Details after the news.
This is the CBC Morning News. To begin this hour, here is the latest news.
And our top story, British colonial rule in Hong Kong is in its final hours. After 156 years, China will once again control the colony. The formal handover is only a few hours away. But before that, celebrations, a century and a half in the making. The setting for this gala celebration, the harbor of Hong Kong, its skyscrapers the backdrop. British troops are pulling out to be replaced by Chinese. The Prince of Wales is at the ceremonies. On behalf of the Queen, he spoke about the future and the past of Hong Kong.
We have no doubt that Hong Kong people can run Hong Kong, as the joint declaration promises, and that faithful implementation of the joint declaration is the key to Hong Kong's continued success. The eyes of the world are on Hong Kong today. I wish you all a successful transition and a prosperous and peaceful future.
And for more on this, here's Raymond Saint-Pierre.
In a moving ceremony at Government House, the 28th and last British governor to Hong Kong bid an emotional farewell to his staff and ceremonial guards. As the buglers sounded the last post, the Union Jack was lowered. A final adieu by the governor and to the British crown. On his way out, Patten followed a tradition set by his predecessors, doing 3 rounds in his car to signify he will return. With the handover ceremonies just a few hours away, Canada's Foreign Minister Lloyd Axworthy announced he will also be attending the swearing-in of the future Beijing-appointed legislature, refusing to join a British-American ministerial boycott.
As uncomfortable it is, and I have to say I wish it was otherwise, I don't find it comfortable as part of that, and it's a difficult decision to make, but on the balance, we did make the decision that we did, based upon our own, what we think is the best way of pursuing the Canadian interest and support of Hong Kong.
He said Canada expects China to live up to its commitments regarding Hong Kong's autonomy and its way of life. Emily Law, one of the elected legislators who will lose their job in a few hours, accuses Canada and other countries of being hypocritical.
Because they publicly said that they do not support the setting up of this abominable provisional legislature. But now they decide to be present at its inauguration, and the whole world, including the Canadian people and the Chinese government, will read that as a sign of them endorsing it.
A few hours before the first Chinese troops were due to arrive, Chinese President Jiang Zemin and Premier Li Peng set foot for the first time ever on Hong Kong soil to witness the handover. They were greeted by Tong Chi-hwa, the chief executive they chose to run Hong Kong. As the sun and the rain settled on Hong Kong, celebrations marking the end of British rule in this Chinese land went ahead.
Now, Hong Kong people are to run Hong Kong. That is the promise, and that is the unshakable destiny.
We have no doubt that Hong Kong people can run Hong Kong, as the joint declaration promises, and that faithful implementation of the joint declaration is the key to Hong Kong's continued success.
A final curtain for 156 years of British history. Raymond Saint-Pierre, CBC News, Hong Kong.
And much of the future of Hong Kong will depend on its new chief executive. Tong Chi-hwa has to balance the interests and freedoms of Hong Kong with the wishes of its communist rulers. And as Tom Kennedy reports, Tong is promising to do just that.
Chief Executive. On December the 11th last year, the winner of China's selection process was announced. And immediately the reaction was positive. In the colony, polls showed he had an 80% approval rating, and the foreign community concluded China had made a very good choice.
He's an affable, intelligent man, well connected in North America and Europe.
Tong was born in Shanghai 60 years ago, inherited his father's shipping firm and built it into a giant, thanks in part to loans from China. It's why many Democrats fear he will never stand up to his communist masters. Tong insists Hong Kong's freedoms are secure.
All these will be protected, and they will be protected not only by me, but because the basic law, which is our constitutional framework, says so.
Tiananmen Square is a tragic and vivid memory in Hong Kong, but Tong has said he will be boss, not China's generals. And one of the leading organizers and survivors of Tiananmen Square is willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
If the Communist Party asked Mr. Tong signed a document to give the order to army to shoot Hong Kong people, I don't think he's going to sign that.
But when there is no good system, even good men cannot do good, but may be forced to do evil.
But he says he has one fundamental advantage.
Hong Kong's long-term interest and China's long-term interests are the same.
But it is the short term that has some people here worried, that moment, if it ever comes, when communist China will find Hong Kong's liberties a threat. Tong insists that will never happen. The success of this one country, two systems approach, he believes and hopes it is just too important to fail. Tom Kennedy, CBC News, Hong Kong.
And Newsworld and the CBC network will have a live special of the handover. That begins at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. In other news, the Somalia inquiry hands its final report to the government today. It's not the report the Commission wanted to deliver. The three-member panel only heard detailed testimony about preparations for the Canadian Airborne Somalia mission. The government ordered the Commission to wrap up before it had a chance to hear much about the mission itself or a possible cover-up. The early end prompted a series of legal challenges from officers who said they and others didn't get a fair chance to defend themselves. The last of those challenges, from General Ernie Bino and retired General Jean Boyle, were denied on Friday. Defense Minister Art Eggleton has promised to make the report public, but he hasn't said when. Another unit of Canadian troops is on the way to Bosnia. They're members of the Lord Strathcona Horse Artillery, based in Edmonton. The soldiers said goodbye to their families yesterday. They will be gone for 6 months. And they'll have something new with them this time. A half-dozen Canadian CF-18 jet fighters will be going too. It will be the first overseas duty for Canadian warplanes since the 1991 Gulf War. They will be the first Canadian fighter jets used in Bosnia. And France today is paying tribute to the great undersea explorer and environmentalist Jacques Cousteau. The country put on a memorial service in Notre Dame in central Paris. It's an honor usually reserved for heads of state. President Jacques Chirac was there, calling Cousteau an enchanter of the underworld. Cousteau will be buried Thursday in a family plot in Bordeaux. And at 8 after the hour, that is the news.
Hong Kong now has about 3 hours left to be British, and after this, the most peculiar and fortunate place returns to China. A conversation with a member of the vanishing legislature in about 5 minutes.
And tomorrow's Canada Day. You know the year's half over as of tomorrow?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, or half over or half to come, the good
Half
stuff.
to come, that's
This
right.
is the point, though, where we start actually earning income, isn't it? Don't they say the first half it's all income taxes? Didn't I hear that once?
You're pretty close.
I'm
yeah.
close. There you go. So see,
Scary, isn't it?
It is awful.
Tax-free
Awful.
days.
Yeah. Okay, the weather today across the country. It's going to be nice and sunny in some parts for Canada Day. I hate it when Canada Day falls on a Tuesday and not a Monday. I think it should always kind of be Monday, a long weekend. Not that we'd get one, but, you know, because we'd still be here for you. Because we want to be here for you. The weather is, well, sunny. Except for the prairie provinces, a little system coming up from Montana. Going to bring a lot of rain to southern Saskatchewan and Manitoba by nighttime. We have for Newfoundland still, I can't believe it's only 12 degrees in St. John's today, but that's what they're telling us. 12 and overcast skies today, a little bit of morning drizzle, sunshine for Corner Brook and Goose Bay. And in the Maritimes, supposed to go up to 25 to 30 for Nova Scotia, 5 degrees cooler along the coast. Sunny, lovely, chance of late afternoon thunder showers for just about all of the Maritime provinces. As we go into Quebec, cloudy, sunny periods in the south, muggy and sticky, 30 degrees. Also a chance of some thunder showers in the central part of Quebec where they're expecting things to be fairly humid and muggy today. Ontario, continuing muggy and humid conditions for southern Ontario. Chance of thunder showers for just about all of the southern part of the province today. And you should get a break in the weather by Wednesday night or Thursday morning, bringing a little bit nicer, less humid conditions. There is an air quality alert in Toronto today as well. Cloudy and 30 degrees for Ottawa, thunder showers for Sault Ste. Marie, and sunshine in Thunder Bay, and 23. Southern Manitoba, system coming in from Montana, spreading throughout the southern prairie provinces, going to bring a lot of rain and also thunder showers. The rain should be in southern Manitoba by nighttime, and the thunder showers as well. Same thing for Regina. Saskatoon will certainly see a little bit of drizzle and rain as well. About a 60% chance of showers today in Saskatoon. Alberta, morning drizzle only in Calgary, then clearing, cloudy, 15 degrees, sunshine for Edmonton. Good morning to everybody in lovely Fort McMurray. A lovely postcard to show you of the spectacular creek that is there. It's called Horse Creek. And Alan Young wrote to say, hi to the morning news crew, and please put us on. We want to know the weather. You're going to be a mostly sunny day there today, and temperatures around 19 degrees. Cloudy with showers in the interior of British Columbia, sunshine in Prince Rupert, 21 cloudy, sunny periods, Vancouver and Victoria. Up north in the Yukon, Whitehorse, some showers. Dawson will have some thunder shower activity today. Cloudy in Inuvik, sunny in Yellowknife, showers for Rankin Inlet, and a cloudy day in Iqaluit, and about 10 degrees or so. If you want to send us your postcards, Beaches and Kids Art. P.O. Box 3000, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J3E9. Fax us at 902-420-4034. And our email address is there, morningnews@halifax.cbc.ca. We'll look at sports after this. Second round of interleague play in baseball goes today. Bragging rights really in Canada are going to be decided. The Expos and Blue Jays begin their three-game series at Sky Dome. Game one is tonight with Pat Henkin on the mound for the Jays up against Pedro Martinez of the Expos. The Jays just finished sweeping the American League leading Baltimore Orioles, while the Expos lost 5-3 to Florida yesterday. So we'll have highlights of that coming up for you in 20 minutes. Right now, though, awesome again was certainly awesome yesterday in winning the 138th running of the Queen's Plate in Toronto. The Queen and Prince Philip were on hand at Woodbine to watch, and here's the stretch run.
It's awesome again, holding on gamely, and awesome again would not be denied his place in history. He wins the Queen's Plate.
So there you have it. Awesome again with a 3.5-length victory over favorite Crypto Closer in winning the 138th running of the $425,000 Queen's Plate stake, and Queen Elizabeth on hand to present the championship trophy. Well, there's going to be a huge meeting tomorrow to find out more about the Tyson bite. Hungry, anyone? Well, Saturday's heavyweight bout between Tyson and Holyfield ended suddenly in the third round when Mike Tyson took a little bit of a nibble out of Holyfield's ear. Not once, but twice. So tomorrow, he will be investigated a little bit further. He was suspended, and his $30 million purse has been withheld pending tomorrow's hearing with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. A Nevada legislative panel wants to beef up the penalty for future incidents. So we'll see what happens. Well, none of that going on at Wimbledon yesterday, but they were playing tennis at the midpoint of the tournament, something they never do, but they're trying to catch up because of all the rain in London last week. Canada's Patricia Hiboulet, she won big over Amanda Coetzer, 6-2, 6-1. No highlights of that for you. Sorry about that. They just didn't feature her, but Britain's Tim Henman gave the British fans a lot to cheer about. The 14th seed Henman, a quarter-finalist last year, outlasted Paul Haarhuis of the Netherlands. Was another traditional Wimbledon 5-set, 4-hour marathon before Henman won. He's only the second Brit to go to the fourth round in the last 4 years. His victory brought the crowd to the feet.
This tennis report is brought to you by Corel Corporation, makers of Corel WordPerfect Suite 7.
And that is sports. Here are your scores from yesterday's schedule. Pete Sampras will see court time at Wimbledon today, and we'll have highlights of the Blue Jays sweeping the Orioles and the Expos. Moises Alou kind of did them in yesterday of the Florida Marlins. We'll have highlights of that for you as well.
In just a few hours, Hong Kong becomes a part of the People's Republic of China. One of the biggest concerns about Hong Kong's future is how much freedom will be allowed. The colony's partially elected legislature is being replaced by a body directly appointed from Beijing. China has promised elections within a year, but the rules are expected to favor pro-Beijing candidates. Among the pro-democracy groups struggling to ensure a continuation of democracy in Hong Kong is the Frontier Party. We're joined in Hong Kong by a member of the party, Harold Koh. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Norma. Good morning, Canada.
We have some competition from the fireworks behind you, but we'll try to get through this as best we can. I hope you can hear me well. What are you feeling today? China takes over Hong Kong.
Well, we should be feeling happy, but we also have a lot of anxieties, with a lot of uncertainties coming in the future. I think a lot of people are also have a lot of fears for the future because, because of how the government right now is being constituted. We're talking about a legislature which was elected by more than 1 million people, now replaced by one which is handpicked by China, basically.
And why does that make people so afraid? I mean, how do they expect life to change?
Well, the thing is, this new government, okay, is all handpicked by China, and with China's horrible human rights records in the past, what is there for us to rely on? Had the new legislature been elected by universal equal suffrage. We know that there is something there to stand on our to stand for our rights. But right now, the whole entire legislature and also the chief executive is handpicked by China. So, what protection do we have if China do something wrong about Hong Kong?
What incentive do you think there is for China to honor its commitments and do what it said it will do and let Hong Kong continue pretty much as it has been?
Well, we would like to believe that it's true, but the thing is, we have to believe in the system instead of people just saying this or that sometime in the past. Okay, we have to believe in the system. That's all we believe in. The thing is, right now we don't have a system that actually give us confidence in the future. Okay, we talk about elections next year, but is it going to come? What sort of election would it be? Is it going to be, the legislature is going to be elected by real people? I mean, not just 400 people handpicked by China. You know what I mean?
What do you think will be the first test of the new government's credibility?
Sorry, I don't hear you because the
Yes.
work is too loud.
I know it's difficult. What do you think will be the first test of the new government's credibility?
Well, I think it's pretty low right now, as you can see from the recent polls. I mean, Tong Chi-Hwa, for instance, the new chief executive, has a confidence voting lower than someone who's going to leave tonight, which is Chris Patten. I don't think the new government has a lot of credibility right now. Okay, they have to work very hard to build up that credibility to Hong Kong people. But well, let's wait and see. But as far as the system is concerned, as I was saying, I mean, it has, it doesn't give confidence to people in Hong Kong at all.
Now, Canada's Foreign Minister Lloyd Axworthy has announced that he is going to the inauguration ceremony for the new government. What do you think of that?
Well, it's basically Canadian business, of course. But whatever they do, we want the Canadian government to say in no uncertain terms that they are watching very closely on what happened to Hong Kong. They'll make noises if they see something which is not good for the people of Hong Kong. I mean, that's the sort of thing that we want, okay? Because, the world is getting smaller every day. And we in Hong Kong, whether the people or the city itself is built on international commerce. It is built on international interest in Hong Kong. That's what makes Hong Kong ticks, among other things, of course. So we want Canada to keep watching Hong Kong closely and say whatever is the right thing to say, instead of just say everything will be okay.
Now, how do you personally intend to play this? Do you intend to cooperate with Beijing and the new government, or openly confront Beijing?
Well, I don't want to use the word confront, but we are going to speak out loud and clear, okay, to what happens in Hong Kong in the future, as we did in the past. We are going to, if we see something wrong, I mean, the whole group, the Frontier, was formed to maintain four things: the rule of law, full democracy, human rights, and also the right of Hong Kong people to write their own constitution, which is not the case right now. So anything that erodes into these four areas, we'll come up and speak up loudly, okay, to the Hong Kong government, to the Chinese government. And we also want people in Hong Kong to come up and speak loudly when they see something they like. I mean, in essence, we want them to say no if they don't like it, instead of just shutting up and thinking that things will not get better, even if they do stand up.
I guess the unanswered question is, will it be safe to do that?
Sorry, I don't hear you.
I guess the unanswered question is whether it will be safe to do that.
Well, yes, I mean, there is an element of risk, no doubt about it. But the thing is, if there are only going to be a small amount of people who are willing to stand up and say no, okay, those people, I mean, this small amount of people will take all the risks. But if a lot of people are coming out to say no, then we're sharing the risk, and the risk is, a lot smaller for the individual, right? I mean, that's what democracy is all about. Okay, we want to empower people. We want people to come out and challenge authority if they think that something is wrong. So that's why full democracy is so important. When we say full democracy, we don't mean, a legislature elected by, just a handful of people. We mean elections to LegCo and an election to of the chief executive based on universal and equal suffrage, which is what is guaranteed to us under the ICCPR.
Okay, Mr. Ko, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So all of this celebration to celebrate the end of something, the beginning of something. We know what is ending, but only really a handful of old men in the Forbidden City really know what is beginning.
And there are the fireworks you heard so much from just a few moments ago. We'll be back right after this break.
Imagine unleashing all the capabilities of your organization. Imagine all the diverse talents working in concert. Anderson Consulting can help you integrate all the parts. Because these days, organizations don't perform unless they perform together.
Since my heart attack, I have to take it easy. Sure, I can get on with my life. Oh, and now that I'm into a new routine, I found that I'm a lot more relaxed.
Since 1955, we've reduced the death rate from heart disease and stroke by 50%.
At Compaq, we care about the way our notebooks use technology. We just care more about the way people use our notebooks. Compaq Armada notebooks with Intel Pentium processors.
You remember Jay. He still doesn't say very much, especially when he's enjoying his McCain Super Fries. And he doesn't seem to care that they've only got 5% fat because they still taste great. McCain Super Fries, deep fried flavor and crispness with only 5% fat. For the strong, silent type.
Fireworks industry is certainly making an awful lot of money in Hong Kong this morning, Fred.
Yes, indeed. Yes, well, that is if they make them all there. They could be importing them, Bill. You never know. It could be driving up. Anyway, let's take a look at what's happening in markets. The Tokyo stock market was lower overnight, and the Hong Kong market is closed, of course, for the holiday. Toronto was up a bit on Friday. New York was a little higher. And the rest of the numbers you can see there, but since I can't see them, Bill, I can't read them to you, so we'll just take a quick look at the boards. We know that gold finally is down about $4 an ounce today, which is about a 4 1/4 year low. Hello? I guess that's it, Bill. I can't hear a word you're saying, so adios. Technical problems beyond our control.
Muchas gracias, Fred. On Lifelines, we do want to eat what is good for us. Really, truly, yes, we do.
The average Canadian grocery store carries more than 17,000 different items. That can mean a dizzying array of items within a single department, each just a little bit different from the next. A recent survey found almost 90% of us consider nutrition and health when we're deciding what to eat. But with so much to choose from, making the right choices can be difficult. That's why some grocery stores offer the services of a dietitian to help shoppers make sense of it all. For example, here's how it works in Truro, Nova Scotia.
Tasty. My name is Kate Evans, and I'm the dietitian here at Ryan's IGA, the spinach salad. What I'm here for is for the customers and the staff to answer any food or nutrition-related questions that they might have.
Are they normally higher?
Like something, it depends. Like ricotta cheese is an excellent substitute for cream cheese.
We started the Nutrition Center in, I think it was November of '94. A dietitian idea came from my wife and I, Barbara. She being a graduate of Mount St. Vincent and a home economist. We just thought it was a natural tie-in our grocery store to provide Mrs. Consumer with some nutritional information on what she buys, some tips and ideas for meal planning and things like that.
We basically, discuss Canada's food guide and kind of center it around that. And we also talk about labeling. A lot of customers are really confused about different claims on the labels, and they want to understand how to read it and how to determine what information they can get from them. A prime example is olive oil. I've had numerous people come up to me and ask whether olive oil is fat-free. They don't understand that cholesterol-free does not mean fat-free. Okay, cholesterol only comes from foods from an animal source. Okay, and since most vegetable oils come from vegetables, then of course there was never any cholesterol in there to begin with. Low fat is very strict in terms of what it means on the label. Means that the product has to have no more than 3 grams of fat per serving. The main thing is people don't stick to the serving size, okay? Calorie-wise, salad dressings are a good choice if you can stick to the serving size. Oftentimes people will probably put on maybe 2-3 times the amount that they should be. In that sense, the fat will start to add up. The two groups that we try and emphasize are the grain products and the fruits and vegetables. The grain products are one of the cheapest things in the store when you think of bread and pastas and rice and some of the hot cereals. Those are all quite cheap when it comes to money. The meat, which we're trying to maybe cut back on the portion size, not eliminate it, but just cut back on the portion size, that's the most expensive thing in the store. So if you are cutting back in your meat, then obviously your grocery bill will go down.
You're welcome to join us. It is free and fun. Have a good day.
Frozen dinners can fit into, a balanced way of eating. Oftentimes there might not be enough fiber, maybe not enough calcium, so maybe to round out the meal with a glass of milk and a roll, like a whole wheat roll. Sometimes you have to be careful of the sodium content as well. I know one you've already tried because we had it in the cooking course. That was the pasta salad.
Well, it's a great source of recipes. It's interesting to learn how much better brown rice is for you than, say, like minute rice or something. Different breads, whole wheat pasta, stuff like that.
In the future, every grocery store in Atlantic Canada will have a dietitian on staff for Mrs. Consumer because they're very demanding and they want to know information about nutritional items that they're eating.
We got thumbs up, do we?
Absolutely.
To have a dietitian actually here at the store where they can just zip up and ask a question is great. There you go. Great.
Perfect.
So Mrs. or Mr. Consumer may not be able to find a dietitian in your grocery store just yet, but you can find one on the internet. The Dietitians of Canada have their own website, and it is filled with information about healthy eating. If you're looking for someone to consult with locally, there's a guide to finding a dietitian in your area, and there's also a selection of recipes that lists the fat, calorie, and protein content in every serving. All the information on this site is available in English and in French as well, and you can find it by going to www.dietitians.ca. You can also get there by going to our website, and our address is www.newsworld.cbc.ca/cbcmn. And when you get in, click on the Lifelines icon and we'll have the link for you. That is Lifelines for this hour.
Oh, Mr. Truro Grocer, be prepared to sell your life dearly. In our next half hour, a conversation with Chris Patten, the outgoing governor of Hong Kong, the last one, on what guarantees his people get after all the noise dies down.
How would you like to have whiter teeth right now?
Right now? That'll be great.
Sure, I'd love whiter teeth.
Wouldn't everybody? Hi, I'm Erin Gray, and I'm here to tell you about Instant White. Just spray it on, and in less than 10 seconds, you're on your way to whiter teeth and a brighter smile. That's right, it's a spray, the instant spray that makes teeth whiter. Look, this is Jennifer before using Instant White, and this is Jennifer after. You can really see the difference. Here's Lisa before and after. And look what Instant White did for John. All from a simple spray.
I can't believe it's so easy to use.
People really notice my smile now.
No more gels, no more mouth trays. With Instant White, you just spray it on and that's it. It even makes coffee stains, smoking stains, and other discoloration disappear. And look, Instant White is also a mint breath spray. That means you'll freshen your breath while you whiten your teeth. Instant White has been proven both safe and effective. It really works.
Take it from Erin Gray. Get whiter teeth with Instant White. But order now and you'll also get this travel size Instant White absolutely free. Keep it in the office or take it anywhere. Get whiter teeth with Instant White.
With Instant White, you'll be on your way to whiter teeth in no time. So order now.
Have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-205-7222. That's 1-800-205-7222. Or send $29.95 plus $5.95 shipping to Instant White. P.O. Box 7500, Department 131, Concord, Ontario. For whiter, brighter teeth, call today 1-800-205-7222. That's 1-800-205-7222. Or send $29.95 plus shipping to this address. Call 1-800-205-7222. That's 1-800-205-7222. Call 1-800-205-7222 today.
The dawn of a new era, the historic Hong Kong handover ceremonies. A wrap-up of the day's festivities, tonight starting at 8 p.m. Eastern on CBC News World, Canada's news network. A News World Live special. Tune in for exclusive live coverage of Her Majesty the Queen's visit to Canada with Alison Smith. The Royal Visit continues today at 5:20 Eastern on CBC News World, Canada's news network.
Good morning again. This is the CBC Morning News.
And in this half hour, the last British governor of Hong Kong leaves the territory after a 5-year term. We'll have Chris Patton in conversation with the CBC's Raymond St-Pierre.
And that is our top story. British colonial rule in Hong Kong is in its last hours. After 156 years, China will again control the colony. The formal handover is just a couple of hours away. Before that, celebrations, a century and a half in the making. The setting for the pageantry, the harbor of Hong Kong. It's skyscrapers, the backdrop. British troops are pulling out to be replaced by Chinese. The Prince of Wales is at the ceremonies on behalf of the Queen. In the pouring rain, Prince Charles spoke about the future and the past of Hong Kong.
We have no doubt that Hong Kong people can run Hong Kong, as the joint declaration promises, and that faithful implementation of the joint declaration is the key to Hong Kong's continued success. The eyes of the world are on Hong Kong today. I wish you all a successful transition and a prosperous and peaceful future.
The celebrations are going pretty well non-stop. The city of 6 million is usually bustling. Well, it's still bustling tonight, but everybody is more or less on holiday. For the mainland Chinese, of course, an equally big day. Chinese President Jiang Zemin arrived in Hong Kong earlier this morning. It is the first time a Chinese head of state has visited during British rule. Jiang has promised to defend Hong Kong, but has ordered his troops to respect its laws and way of life. Meanwhile, thousands of Chinese troops are preparing to enter Hong Kong. The vanguard of troops, about 500 of them, are on their way. They'll be in place before the official handover. Another 4,000 soldiers arrive in Hong Kong 6 hours after the handover. The commissioners of the Somalia inquiry hand their final report to the government today. It's not the report the commission wanted to deliver. The three-member panel only heard detailed testimony about preparations for the Canadian Airborne Somalia mission. The government decided to order the commission to wrap up before it had a chance to hear much about the mission itself or a possible cover-up. The early end prompted a series of legal challenges from officers who said they and others did not get a fair chance to defend themselves. The last of those challenges, from General Ernie Bino and retired General Jean Boyle, were denied on Friday. Defense Minister Art Eggleton has promised to make the report public, but he has not said when. Another unit of Canadian troops is on the way to Bosnia. They are members of the Lord Strathcona Horse Artillery based in Edmonton. The soldiers said goodbye to their families yesterday. They'll be gone for 6 months, and they'll have something new with them. A half dozen Canadian CF-18 jet fighters will be going along too. This is going to be the first overseas duty for Canadian warplanes since the 1991 Gulf War. And they will be the first Canadian fighter jets used in Bosnia. 6 Eaton's stores are closing their doors for good today. The Canadian department store chain is trying to rebuild under bankruptcy protection. Today's closings are the first of about 30. Eaton's plans to cut its stores from 85 to around 55. 4 of the ones that are closing today are in Ontario, Toronto, Kitchener, Brantford, and Sarnia. The others are in Victoria and Montreal. And if you like to have the correct time all the time, you will have to reset your watches and your clocks today. A leap second was added to the world's master clocks at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. The time has been changed because the Earth's rotation is slightly slower due to variations in wind, the Earth's core, and gravity, if that's clear. To keep things in sync, 1 second has been added to the world's master clocks. The change will affect everything synchronized by satellite. So 3 now. And at 21 minutes before the hour, this is the CBC Morning News.
That was 21 minutes, 33 seconds for those of you who just checked. Yeah, it was 32, but then we've added the seconds, so we're right at that. We like to be precise here. What am I going to do with all that time on my hands now? I've got an extra second. Go figure. We have a nice day here in the Maritime Provinces. Still a little cool as we head over to Newfoundland with a little bit of drizzle for St. Johnson, 12 degrees. But Corner Brook looking lovely and 24 degrees, a high of 25 for Goose Bay. 22 degrees for Nova Scotia might be conservative, 25 to 30 expected highs, 5 degrees cooler along the coast, 30 for New Brunswick, and a nice day on Prince Edward Island as well. Sunshine, but chance of afternoon thunder showers later in the day. As we go into Montreal and Quebec City, cloudy, sunny periods, muggy at 30 degrees. It's humid. Chibougamau, also a chance of afternoon thunder showers, and it should be a little bit warmer than that 22 degrees that you see there because they're expecting fairly hot and muggy conditions. More of the same in southern Ontario. You'll get a break in the humidity by Wednesday or Thursday, but today more sunny, hot weather, chance of thunder showers developing later in the day for Windsor and moving right up into Toronto as well. Temperatures approaching 30, probably will certainly be there. Cloudy and 30, muggy and hot in Ottawa. Thunder showers for Sault Ste. Marie and 25 degrees and sunshine and 23 degrees for Thunder Bay. For the Prairie Provinces, there's a system moving in from Montana, going to bring a lot of rain to southern Saskatchewan and moving into southern Manitoba by tonight. Thunder showers in the forecast with